Well, first thing anyone would probably notice is I have no insulation in half of my roof. I don't like heights. 16-foot peak in this house. I I don't like heights at all. And my ladder grew legs and walked off one day, so I actually right now don't even have a ladder to get up there. This last winter, we were able to get the insulation up in half the house over there where the loft is, and it helped a lot. And we're in Southeast Texas; it's very hot, so I don't really worry too much about the summers because the heat rises and the cool air stays down, so it doesn't affect us too bad. When it gets about 100 degrees, it can get a little hard to keep this house cool. All I have is a couple window units. I have one up there in the wall in my son's loft. That's my son's room up there. I need to get some railings up there bad before somebody takes a fall. But I need to build some half walls up there yet. Some knee walls. It's gonna close it in a little bit, but it'll give me some storage space. So I have a big window unit there, and I have a small one back in my bedroom that I rarely run. So this, since I've been off work, I got most of my paneling done. Try to get some light here to see. This is all on the bottom there. That's rough cut pine. I had some friends that have a sawmill, and the people I used to buy my firewood from. I bought all that pine. I stained it it's a pecan color. I think I'm gonna go darker with it. I'm not real fond of the reddish color. I thought maybe it would go good with all the cedar I have in here, but it doesn't match it real good, and it just might be a little too much. This is all rough sawn cedar. I bought it in a few stages, so you see a little bit of color difference there. Those gaps there. There's going to be a beam to go up in front of it. It's going to cover all that. It's going to be like a fake post and beam frame look, so you won't see all that. But I have to get some. I haven't decided if I'm going to put some windows up there. I'd like to get some windows that are angled to the roof, but those are custom made and they're expensive, so I might just close it in. I'm not sure. Maybe put a vent up there in the peak to get the hot air out. But that's all rough cedar. And I got almost all of it done, and I ran out. I got a little there I got to do. That's going to be sheetrock up there, because this is behind my fireplace, and that will be all stone at some point. And I have a little bit of cedar I have to finish on that wall. And I ran out, so I could not finish that. And the store does not have any more in stock. I have to wait. They have some, but it's a different size. And I don't want to swap sizes on the wall. With nowhere to make a break, you would see it. So I made this mantle. That's cedar. It was rough sawn cedar too. All my windowsills there, those are cedar. That's red cedar. My window trim, that's all rough cedar. It's actually the same cedar as the wall board, stained with a dark walnut stain. I got a deal on all this rough sawn cedar. It was blowdown from Hurricane Ike that a guy took and had caught up in the 1-inch slab boards, and he didn't really have a use for it, but he didn't want to waste it. He took it to a local sawmill. They cut it for him. He didn't know what to do with it. He just told him, cut it in the 1-inch boards. 1 inch is almost structural, so I really wish he'd have cut it in the 3/4 inch or maybe even 1/2 inch, because it would have gone twice as far, and he just used it as a facing. I built all these cabinets. That cabinet there is 6 foot tall. My walls in this house are 10-foot walls. They're not the normal 8 foot. So this cabinet alone is 6 foot tall. And I built all these. I built the bottom cabinets. I found some Formica. It was at Lowe's. It was very expensive. It was a special order that somebody ordered and didn't like the color, so they never picked it up. And I picked it up cheap. Dishwasher come out of a trailer somebody bought and wanted a fancy stainless one, so it was almost new, but except it sat outside for a couple of years under a carport. When I got it, it has a leak I have to get fixed. And my sink there, I cut in my sink. That's just it's dirty. It's just an old wash tub. I cut a hole in the bottom, put a drain in, and I have some doors made to cover these slide out racks, and they are messy. I have some doors cut for those I have to get on. I don't have any floors in this house yet. They are just painted plywood. That stove came out of from a friend who bought a new house. It was a big fancy house, and the wife wanted stainless. Nothing wrong with it. I got that for free. This wall, I need to get all my wall coverings up in the kitchen. I have backsplash there. That board is one of my backsplashes. I need to take outside and get sanded and clear coated, and I'll put the backsplashes on and start tiling that. I have a small window that's going in there, and then I need to build a cabinet for that wall and put a range hood with a vent on it. This house was built, well, it was designed to be a lake house kind of getaway. Lake is right across the road out there. My mess with all my fallen trees. But so it was designed. It's very small. It's only 20 by 32. It's 640 square feet on the main floor, and then the loft is half the house, so that's another 320. So I'm at 960 square feet. I got about 10 feet of bump out in the other rooms where I extended the walls mainly to fit my king size bed in. But it was originally designed, none of this was supposed to be here. It was supposed to all be open. There was going to be a ladder going up into the loft, or actually more like a ship's ladder, which is a extremely steep staircase, kind of a ladder, kind of a staircase. But none of these walls were supposed to be here. So it was supposed to be all open, even open into the bedroom. And when we decided I had to live here, I had to make some modifications. So I had to find a place to put in a very small house, to put a staircase. So I figured it out, and it turned out not too bad. The runs are a little short, but it's not too steep. I need to put some backing on these yet. But they're narrow. It's only like 2.5 feet between those two beams. So it's not a problem. I'm 30 inches. I'm over 30 inches across the shoulder, so I have to turn sideways to go up there. But it's my son's loft, and he's smaller for now, almost, kind of. He's catching up fast. This is just an old boxwood stove I found in somebody's shed, and I brought it home. It had 2 legs broken in the back. I had to buy a grate for the bottom and a few other little pieces. Otherwise, it was just a lot of sanding, a lot of wire wheeling, and painting it with a ceramic paint. You can see all the paint's burned off there now. These things will burn hot. The only other problem is there's no air control, so it burns up a lot of wood. I'll burn a couple cords a winter, and we really don't use it that much. I have these little infrared heaters that I use when I don't feel like messing with the stove, because it burns wood so fast you have to get up every hour and restoke it. So it's hard to get a decent night's sleep. And when you got to work in the morning, getting up every hour, put more wood in it. So I'll load it up and choke it down as much as I can at night, and then I'll set the infrared heaters. So if I don't wake up and the fire goes out, then we don't freeze. But it's not too cold here at Southeast Texas. This here is a pine tree log. That was on the lot here. Actually, it was, I don't know if this will focus. That is a stump. Excuse my mess, I just threw a bunch of stuff out the door. That's a stump right there, and that was where that pine tree was. I cut it down. It was about 4 times taller than that. It was tall enough when it landed, a third of it landed out in the woods out there. So I cut that much, and it's the center support for my house. I went and got some, my neighbor had some old-fashioned draw knives, and I sat on that log for a week, scraping the bark by hand, trying to scrape down into the pulpwood. And you see some of the coloration, the lighter stuff there. I guess I didn't get down quite as far. When I stained it, the colors came out differently. It does actually is not stained. I have tung oil on it. So it's dried up now. It's been on there. It needs another couple coats. And then I'll probably clear coat it with a polyurethane. But these beams here, these dark beams, and I'll show you in the other room too, they are also from that log. All these are the beams that hold the loft up. Up in the bathroom, same thing in the bathroom. All those are from that tree. I hand cut those. Sat out in the backyard, cut them with my chainsaw. You see the texture on them is very rough. That's all cut with a chainsaw by hand. I have more time than money, so I did as much as I could. This is my bedroom, and it is a little small for this king-size bed now that I had to put this wall in. This wall is actually, there's so little room here, I couldn't build a 2x4 wall. It'd take up too much room. So that is literally just a single layer of 1/2-inch cedar boards. And then they shrunk over time, and I got a couple little gaps in there, so I put a tapestry over them so you can't see too much light through them. I might come back here and put a sheet of drywall over these and just glue it to it. And just to have a more substantial wall. So that's my bump out. It's a big bump out, 8 foot wide, goes out 18 inches. That gives me enough room to put a bed in here and have enough to walk through. Like I say, that king size bed's awfully big, and I think I'm gonna give it to my son and put a queen in here. It's from my old house. I just did the drywall here and painted it. Of course, the light in here is really bad. All I got are these two little, there's going to be 4x4s here that'll go up, and then a 4x6 will come across the bottom of these beams to help support them, and it'll make like a barnwood look. That's why that is not finished there and has foam sprayed in there. I haven't done those supports yet. I didn't like those brackets that are holding these up there, so I leg bolted through the ends, but leg bolting into an end grain is not real strong either. It helps, but I'm gonna put the supports in there to help anyways. Big old closet with no door and all messy. I plumbed the whole house with PEX. There's my PEX manifold. I would not recommend the cheap plastic manifold that I bought. I have had to cut off and fix a few things already. My Halloween skeletons with his dingle balls. My 14-year-old son's joke. But yeah, I did this drywall. It turned out pretty good. I don't like doing drywall. I don't like having drywall in the house at all. But when I opened the windows and I saw I had a couple spots that were not as smooth as I thought, so I just came back in here, skim coated them again this morning. See, that's still drying there. I don't know if you can see it too well. I'll come back, sand those later, put another coat of paint on. I'm going to probably get a texture roller to get a little more rougher texture on there. I don't like a heavy texture drywall, so I'm not going to texture it. I'll just put a paint texture on. That's just trim up there, covers the gap into the bathroom. Like I said, water heater. I originally wanted to use a tankless. I ran out of money, so I put a tank in there and I put a water heater timer on it. That timer saved me quite a bit of money in my electric bill every month, about 50 bucks it seems. And this is the first month I had it on there, was the first month I actually got my bill below $100. So that's all electrical and wire up there, water. I need to put a doorway in here where these curtains are. I don't know if you noticed. My girlfriend's going to be coming soon, so I need to get a door in there. And I need to finish. This goes into the, that's right up there, the kitchen. There's my bathroom. My bathroom's big as my bedroom. It's a quarter the size of my house. My ex-wife had a lot of hair and wanted a big space for her that was all tile, so that it was easy to clean up all the hairspray and all that nasty stuff. But now I don't have to worry about it, and I have a huge bathroom that I wish was about half the size. It was, I designed it to put a freestanding tub pretty much there where the table is. Since the more I finish the rest of the house, I have nowhere to work, so the bathroom has become my work room. As you see, half the tile's finished, the other half I keep bare because I drop stuff all the time, hammers and everything over there. I just pulled this table out further to work on this door. All this tile was donated to me. I have a friend who sells tile for her and her husband sold tile, and they just had a garage full of remnants, leftovers, that they brought over and gave to me, and I've used a lot of it. My shower there, that's all slate, natural slate. I did buy those glass tiles. I didn't have those. I needed something. I had some glass she gave me, but they didn't match the colors I had. I used a tan tile there, put it on the diagonal, cut all that. I need to finish the ceiling. I ran out of slate. I have a couple pieces, but not enough. So I'm trying to find a slate that has the same colorations as that. And I'll finish that up, and then I need to put a glass shower door on here because water's getting everywhere. I painted in here this gray. I'm not sure I like it. I wanted something a little more bluer to match that slate, so I'm probably going to come back. I put all the beadboard up. I'm going to sand it all, and I'll probably come back with a bluer gray. I just put all the cabinets in with a table there for where you have you put a chair. There's going to be a mirror on all that wall there. I need to buy it. It's all my tools and junk, and thank God there's no woman living here because I have a mess. Right now I'm working on these antique French doors. I got salvaged these out of a house. They're over 100 years old. So this is one I finished. I don't have any I don't have the frames, so when I put them in, I'm going to have to build them all. These are going in this bump out. I have another bump out in here. It matches the one in the bedroom, 8 foot. That's all temporary there, that door and this sheet of plywood, all that's just kind of screwed up there for temporary. These French doors are going to go there. Yes, French doors in the bathroom. There'll be a deck out there that I'll enclose into like a private little garden area. Maybe put a hot tub out there. But these doors, this one's harder. They're antiques. They have these called mortise locks. The whole big lock mechanism, which is this, is cut into a big hole right here. It goes in and it sits back. These being a narrow style door, This distance is shorter than a normal mortise lock. They sell reproductions of these, not too expensive, except they have more back spacing than these. If I want to reuse this lock set, it cost me about $150. So I'm not going to do it. I cut a wood plug to slide in there, and then I filled it. That's all still wet. That's why you can see it. It's real thick, so it'll shrink, and I'll have to come back and fill again over the top of it. But I'm kind of starting to sand around it. There's my Redneck Engineered dust collection system. I don't have the fitting for it, so packing tape works. But that's the age of these doors. I don't need to get a test kit to find out. I guarantee you this is lead paint. So I use there's a HEPA filter in that shop vac, and I use that to sand these down. I didn't want to have to use the paint strippers, because it can loosen the joints on these antiques. They're glued, and the modern strippers are pretty nasty, and they can loosen them all up. So they'll be cut into there. Once again, I still have to drywall behind the washer dryer. There'll be a cabinet over the commode here, and then I'll build a little bump out wall to cover the pipe, the vent stack, and probably cover up the side of that washer dryer. Maybe put a door on it, I'm not sure. But that sink was a takeout from another house. I buy a lot of stuff on Craigslist. That's a Kohler sink. I think I paid 20 bucks for it. It's a couple $100 new. The way I built my kitchen cabinets, I have no access to the plumbing. So there is an access door there that is not hinged and not put on yet. And the other problem I have, these are actually the doors for my kitchen cabinets I need to put on. But the other problem I have is I actually don't have enough of this tile to finish the whole floor. I was going to have a freestanding clawfoot tub in there, and under the tub I was going to do natural slate because it's coarse, so you have something to grip with your feet when it's wet, so you don't slip and break your neck. If I don't put a tub in here, I don't know how I'm going to finish the floor. I don't know, I'm starting to think maybe I'll just put a jacuzzi tub and build a pedestal and put that there. And these French doors, I have to order some hinges with non-removable pins because I'm going to have to make them swing out, which means a regular door hinge you would be able to you'd be able to pull the pins from the outside and pull the doors off. It's not very safe, not exactly safe anyways. It's a glass door with a single pane glass, so nothing really safe about it. But that's about it for the inside. Small house, it doesn't take very long. There's going to be a lot of porches all the way around it. Probably 8 foot on the front, 10 to 12 foot on the other sides. And if I end up staying here, I will probably turn the back porch into a living room and turn this whole area just into a big kitchen entertaining area. I'm doing this on my phone because my hotspot ran out of data, and it's downgraded to 2G. And I have a video uploading to YouTube right now. It's not a very long video, and it might be done now. I'll have to check. 94%, and it has been running for about 12 hours. So, I'm doing them on my phone. I have unlimited data on my phone, but when I use it for a hotspot, it is only 3 gigs a month before it downgrades. The new plans are 10, and they won't give it to me, so I don't know. I might have to change phone companies. We live out here in the boonies, and there is no high-speed internet, no cable, fiber, anything. But this phone, luckily, takes very good video. I just rebuilt the rear end of my son's four-wheeler. That's the old one. I have a bunch of trash out here. I was going to side this house this month. I was going to put the siding on so that I could start putting my porches on. But we had a fire at work, and now I have been off work for a month, over a month now, and it's my vacation time just ran out, and it's looking like it could be another month to 2 months or longer, so I have to figure out what I'm going to do. But I decided to save that money that I was going to spend on the siding, because I was going to need it to live on. I had plenty of stuff stacked up in this house to work on, so I wasn't too worried about it. I got a few things left I can do before I run out. I got a bunch of tile work I can still do. So that's my little house, and I just figured I would show it off since I'm taking videos in here and everybody's seeing it. You know, it's hard for me to not show the ceiling and stuff. People get seeing it's not done. So that's my story. I lost a house and now I'm building one. And it's not a fun way to live. I am pretty much broke all the time. I make good money, but whatever, I live on about a third of what I make, but everything else I make I just put into the house or my kid. And so it's like never much savings. So when things happen, there might not always be the money for it. My kid hates it, and we have arguments about it, but it's the way it's going to be until it's done. It's just, you know, I'm building equity in the house, and I plan to use this house if I move to the Philippines. I want to put a renter in it, and I use that money to live in the Philippines until I'm old enough to get Social Security. There's a house next door. It's a small house, but they say it's 4 bedrooms. I don't see how it has 4 bedrooms, but it's just a small square salt box house, and it rents for over $1,000 a month, which I think is crazy for out here in the boonies. But if you can get $1,000, I can probably get $1,200 or more out of this. So by the time we pay the taxes and insurance, that's plenty for me to live on in the Philippines, because I won't have rent. My fiance owns property and houses, and that's my plan. So this house is my savings. So instead of having money putting in the savings, I'm putting it in my house every couple of weeks. So now that I'm actually back to working on it. So this here is a painting. I don't know why the light is on my phone. I'm getting a glare. But that is a painting from an aerial photo from the 70s of my house in Wisconsin that I had before I moved down here. That was my house and my land in Wisconsin. Except for that barn burned down before I bought the house, and it had a brand new 50 by 100 pole shed barn, metal building with 14-foot walls. And I turned half of that into horse stalls, and the other half was a truck shop. I had trucking company, and I also had a asphalt paving company, so I had a lot of equipment. And then also there was a almost 1,000 square foot garage here. This old one was gone. And that's more square footage than this house is I'm building. But it was nice, a really nice garage with floor drains. It was in Wisconsin, so everything freezes up there in the winter. But with the floor drains, I could pull cars in there and wash them in the winter. It was very nice. I miss that place a lot, and I would kind of kick myself often for letting my wife talk me into moving here. And now I'm down here with no family. So that's it. I hope you like my little house. Bye.